A rich man wanted to go onto a journey, and he entrusted his wealth to three of his servants. He called them over and he said, okay, I will give you one bag of gold. To the other servant, he gave 2 bags of gold, and the other one, he gave 5 bags of gold. And then he went on his journey. And after a long time, he came back and he wanted to see what his servants did with the treasure, with what he gave them. And the person who he gave 5 bags of gold came back and said, hey, master, you gave me 5, but you know what? I multiply it. I apply what you taught me, and I actually got 10 bags of gold. The second one, who he gave 2 bags of gold, came back and said, master, I actually did the same. I multiplied what you gave me. I apply what you have taught me. And here it is, 4 bags of gold instead of 2. And the third one, the one who received 1 bag of gold, he came back with just exactly the same bag of gold. And he said, master, I knew that you are a tough master, and I knew that you get where you don't sow. So I was afraid, so I hid your bag of money, of gold, and I didn't want to do anything with it. I just hid it. So I wanted to give it back to you the way it was. So here it is. And the man said, you wicked servant, you knew that I get from where I don't sow, and yet you did nothing with the money that I entrusted you. You hid it in the ground, took the gold from that man, and he gave it to the one that had 5 golds. You know, it's interesting because he gave them all according to their capacity. He gave each one of them according to his capacity. The one who had 1 bag, that was his capacity to receive 1. The one who had 2, that was his capacity to receive 2. The one who had 5 had his capacity. And what's interesting is this: 3 people each had a choice to do something with what they were entrusted with. 2 of them decided to put to practice what they've been taught. And I'm sure the master chose the right servants, the servants who understood the power of the money, who understood the power of multiplication, who understood wealth, who understood finances. And I'm sure those servants so many times look up to his master and said, it's easy for him to make money. It's easy for him to make money because he has all the opportunity in the world. If I would have his opportunity, that would be a whole different story. I would do this. And I'm sure you sometimes do the same. You might admire certain people and say, well, of course, they do that kind of project because they have so many opportunities. If I were to have their opportunities, I would do so much better. And one day, my friend, your day arrives where you get to prove what you have been taught. You get to put in practice what you've been taught, just like those servants. 2 of them proved themselves to be useful. They were good observers, and they understood that for money to grow, they need to be put in practice. And I'm sure it wasn't easy. I'm sure at times it was hard because they didn't know how to apply it. But what's good is that the master gave them time, friend. He gave them time to figure it out. He gave them time to put in practice everything that he has taught them. And you know, everything in life has to be multiplied. If it's not multiplied, it means it's not God in it. God is a God of increase, friend, and nothing that he does is small. Everything that he does is big. Everything that he does, he wants to be glorified in it. Yet, so many times, we, just like the man who had just 1 bag of gold, who probably looked at the bag of gold and said, I only have 1. Why does he have 5? It's not fair. And he was so focused on what the other people had that he stopped working his share. He was too focused comparing what those people had instead of just actually working his talent, working his bag of gold. The master said, why didn't you put it in a bank? At least I would have got some interest. You don't bury gold in the ground, you only bury seed. Seed will produce. Gold and money is to be multiplied. It's a flow. They have to be invested, otherwise it does not grow. And yet that man with one bag, who was comparing himself with the other people, chose to bury it. You only bury gold when you become a hater. He became a hater because out of a sudden, instead of just being grateful for what God gave him, he started hating on his master and hating those people, and he decides to bury. He decides to stop the progress. The moment you have buried your gift, whatever that talent is, whatever that gold represents to you, maybe it's your artistic side, maybe you have such an amazing gift of writing poetry, maybe you have a gift of innovation, maybe you have a gift in medicine, maybe you have a gift in politics, maybe you have gifts in areas that I know nothing of. Maybe you have a gift of teaching, maybe you have a gift of speaking and empowering others. Maybe you have so many other gifts. Maybe you have more than one gift. Maybe you have 5 like that man. Maybe you have 20. Use them, friend. Use them, because the moment you bury it, you stop the progress, and God cannot be glorified through your gift. There is no multiplication. There is no increase. No matter how much you can cry or whine about it, it's up to you. What do you do with the gift, with the bag of gold, with the talent that God has entrusted you? What do you do with that gift, friend? Do you become a hater because you're comparing yourself to others? Everyone started small. We don't know the true story. Maybe the story is that the guy who had 5 at one point had 1 himself, but he has learned to work it over and over and over and over again. And then he understood that there is power, friend. There is power in unity. Maybe the guy with the 5 talents and the guy with 2, they stay connected. They stay together. They share what works and what doesn't work. They understood the power of unity, whereas the other one just chose to hate and to bury a gift. Burying a gift that God entrusted you with on this earth is a crime, my friend. Is a crime, because not only you're working against your master, but you're working against yourself. There is no way you can advance. There is no way you can actually get increase unless you use that talent. Put it in practice. Let it flow. Every good gift that comes is from above, from the Father of lights, from the Creator. Use that gift, friend. Use that gift. And I pray that instead of just having 2 talents, out of a sudden you realize, whoa, I developed a new gift. I didn't even know I had it. Instead of 2, now I have 4. Instead of 4, I have 8. Instead of 8, I have 24. Because you start using it. And the more you use it, just like muscles, they grow, and they get stronger. I pray, friend, that whatever God entrusted you with, whatever that gift is, you will put it to use. And one day, when you have to respond to our Father, you will smile and you will be beyond joyful to say, Father, you gave me 5. Here it is. 10. Here it is. 25. Here it is. I used it. I worked it to the best of my ability. He'll always give you according to your ability. And if you have only 1, it means that that's your capacity. But that 1 might be so valuable that it's even more valuable than the one who has 5. Just don't become a hater. Don't look at other people and comparing yourself with their journey. Work yours, and multiply it. Multiply it and bless others with it.